Today we're going to learn about WOR, and you would think it would say war, but no, that's saved for WAR for some strange reason. WOR is going to sound like a WER, like WER. So don't worry if that's complex right now. It's going to be more simple at the end of the class. So here it is simplified. WOR says were, like worm, word, world, worry. Do you hear how that WOR says were? So putting all three of these W rules together, we have WA, WA, WAR, war, WOR, were. Today we're going to do WOR. We're going to break it down. And trust me, my friends, we're going to get to the simplicity on the other side of complexity like we always do. By the end of the class, you're going to feel 10 times smarter because this is not an easy rule to learn, except for you guys. You can learn anything. Okay, sharing my screen. One of these days I'll learn how to share just the right screen. I always make it a little harder than it has to be. All right, so first thing together, we're going to say, now, how do you spell were? WOR. How do you spell were, like word, world, worry, WOR? Should I kind of want to put it up here, but I kind of don't because I want you to get it from up here. Okay, but it might take some repetition, so don't worry if it's going to take half the class to get it. If you hadn't have come to class, it would have taken a lifetime to get it. 15 minutes is nothing. So our first word is batword. Batword together. B, a, t, w, d. Should I tell you something magical? I think I am. I'm going to push pause for a second. You're going to be glad you came to class today. Are you ready to learn something magical? Okay. The vowels are A, E, I, O, U, and Y when it's not the first letter of a word or a syllable. Now, hang on to your hat. Here we go. When Y is the first letter, it's a consonant, right? But it's also a semi-vowel. A vowel is a sound that is unobstructed, and your vocal cords are used. A semi-vowel is it's semi-obstructed, like ye. That consonant Y is also consonant vowel at the same time. Okay, so consonant Y is also a semi-vowel. Another semi-vowel is W. Ooh. Okay, now R and L. Let me ask you this. I might have already brought this up. If every syllable needs a vowel sound, and that's what a vowel is it's a sound that's unobstructed by your tongue, lips, or teeth. Are you with me still? If every syllable in a word needs a vowel sound, which it does, that's a true fact, then what's the second vowel sound in the second syllable in apple? I think I did tell you this before, but let's learn it again. It's not the E, it's the L. It's the L that's making a vowel sound. Is your mind blown? Same thing with the R, like in the word word. You don't hear, what do you hear? You don't hear the O, you hear the R. Those are called liquid consonants. So, aren't you glad you came to class today? The vowels are A, E, I, O, U, and Y when it's not the first letter. Semi-vowels are Y when it's the first letter, when it's a consonant, and W. Liquid consonants are R and L because they act as a vowel in a syllable. They're technically consonants, but they act as the vowel like in apple or in word. Okay, so that brings me back to, how are you feeling about that? Give me a one word descriptor of how you feel about what I just spent a few minutes describing for you. Mind blown? Right? I know, I loved learning that. Strange? Yeah. Good stuff, huh? Good stuff. Okay, so back to where we were. Our word was batward. So I was wondering if I should put the OR, which we already know it's going to be, on one line, and I have to because there is no other sound. That OR is going to go on one line and it's going to be dotted. Okay, so pretend you didn't see that and you don't know how to spell it. Batward, consonants, B, A, T, W, D. Vowels, A is the only letter that spells at. It just needs two consonants after it, which it has right there. Perfect. When you hear WOR, it's spelled W-O-R. Batward. Your word is Tipworth. Tipworth. T-I-P-W-R. Don't you love dotting an R sound? Isn't that fun? Tipworth. Try yours and then put it in the Q&A so I can see how you're doing. Tipworth. And the last sound is my tongue going between my teeth and blowing. Tipworth. Tipworth. Okay, good. And the first vowel sound that you hear is an I versus an A. It's an I. So Tipworth consonants, we have T, I, P, W, R, Th. I can spell the I sound right here just fine because of those two consonants after it. Tap 2 rule. When you hear WOR, it is spelled W-O-R. This is our new reading hack for the day. When you hear WOR, you spell it W-O-R. Okay, next. Cotwordy. Cotwordy, we have K, A, T, W, R, D, E. 3-syllable word, we can tell because there are 3 vowels that don't touch. Consonants. K, A, T, W, R, D, E. Vowels. Ah. Can O say ah there? Sure can. We don't have to double anything because there are already 2 consonants after it. When you hear WOR, you spell it W-O-R. The sound E at the end of a longer word is usually spelled with a Y. Cotwordy. Cotwordy. Your word? Gatwormy. Gatwormy. G-A-T-W-R-M-E. Gatwormy. Sarah, you're getting too fast. You are getting too fast. Gatwormy. First sound is g, like girl. Gatwormy. Nice, Imelda. Gatwormy. There we go. All right, so our consonants are G, A, T, W, E. We're going to save those vowels for last because you have to know what the consonants are, like that W, before you know how to spell the vowel sounds. A can be spelled with an A just fine. It's the only letter that spells A, but just making sure that we don't have to double anything after it. We don't because there are already 2 consonants, so A is just fine saying A right there. After a W is spelled O-R. When you hear WOR, you spell it W-O-R. E at the end of a longer word is usually spelled with a Y. Gatwormy. Okay? Don't worry, I see that some people are brand new. So when I say things like Y at the end of a longer word is usually spelled with a Y, a lot of us have been hearing that for months or years. And so it's second nature. But for you, you might be hearing that for the very first time. So yeah, when you hear E at the end of a word, you usually spell it with a Y. like pretty, city, happy, taffy. When you hear E at the end, it's usually spelled with a Y. Okay, hang in there, hang in there. Let's do spindorm together. Spindorm. Sp, I, n, d, w, m. Consonants. Sp, I, n, d, w, m. It has two different spellings, but we're going to start with the most common. And I can say I right there just fine. If it works, stop, you're done. And we're stopping because there's two consonants after it. So I can say I there perfectly. Has a lot of different spellings, but when it comes after a W, it's spelled with an OR. When you hear WOR, spell it WOR. Did I say? Yeah, spindorm. Okay, your word is plimpworst. This is not an easy word to spell. Take your time. Plimpworst. P-l-i-m-p-w-r-s-t. Start by making sure that you have the same lines and dots as me. Plimpworst. Let me just make sure I got that right. Yeah. Plimpworst. Plimpworst. You guys are so good. And the vowel sound at the beginning is an I versus an eh. It's not an eh, it's an I. Yeah. Plimpworst. My mouth is in a long, wide grin. Feel free to change your answer. So the consonant sounds are p, l, I, m, p, w, st. Plimpworst. I is going to be spelled with an I just fine right here. I, and then after a W is spelled OR. Now, if you didn't get it right, I want you to look at this spelling so that it can get sunk into your head. Plimp. There's plimp. Worst. Plimpworst. So now that you can see it correct, then the next time will be easier. Okay? Let's try this one on your own. Worthimpy. Now my mouth, and the sound in the middle, it can be a TH or an F, it's a TH. Worthimpy. W, I, m, p, e. Worthimpy. 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 Good, Layla. We are spelling worthimpy. 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 Close. So instead of worth pimpy, it's worthy. Worthy. That it goes right from the TH. Worthimpy. Worthimpy. All right. I'm going to give you this right here because it's hard to tell if it's a TH or an F. So if you put an F, you're fine. You just heard it that way. It's not wrong. So consonants. W, th, I, m, p, e. Now let's stop right there. Make sure that we're all understanding why these consonants are where they are. Worthimpy. Worthimpy. After a W is spelled O-R. When you hear WOR, you spell it W-O-R. I is usually spelled with an I, which spells it just fine right here because of the tab 2 rule. And E at the end of a longer word is usually spelled with a Y. E at the end of a longer word is usually spelled with a Y. That one was hard for a lot of people. Only a couple people got that right. So let me back it up. Let me back the truck up just a little bit. And let's try, let me see which one I want to give you. Worship. Worship. W-O-R-S-H-I-M-P. Worship. Worship. Nice, Fatma. Good, Layla. Worship. Now I'm trying to end that word with a p. So instead of, I'm trying not to say worshipy. I want it to just end with the p. Worship. Worship. I told you I was going to pick kind of an easy word, but this one isn't that easy. There's a lot of reasons why this one can be difficult. So consonants. W, sh, I, m. After a W is spelled O-R. Why? I don't know. Why can't it just be like this? I don't know, my friends. I don't know. I mean, it is for the word, at least, WOR. That's good. And there is just a couple exceptions, you guys. Like if you see the word, well, I'm not even going to go into the exceptions. They're very, very few. Usually when you hear WOR, it's going to be spelled W-O-R. And then I spells the I sound right here. So there's worship. Worship. Last one. Warpit. Warpit. W-R-P-it. Warpit. Oh, that was close, Azeb. Warpit. 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 There we go. That's what I wanted to see. That's how I wanted to end the class. Yes, we have W-R-P-it. After a W is spelled O-R. And then we have your I, warpit. How are you feeling about what you learned? I tried to give you a little bit of a prep, a little bit of a warning that R control vowels and R control vowels and W control vowels are not the simplest things to learn, but I think you're getting it. Do you feel like you're getting it? Like if you hear WOR, how are you going to spell it? W-O-R. You might not have known that 30 minutes ago, but now you do. So hopefully now you've gone through the complexity a little bit and landed on the simplicity on the other side of complexity. Well done, my friends. I'll see you next time for a review of R-controlled and W-controlled vowels so that we can just get more repetition and more practice so it becomes second nature. All right, have a good weekend. Bye, everybody.